Now let's take a look at the performance cards component type. So I'm going to click add component over here. I'm going to make this bigger. From my component type drop down, I'm going to select performance cards. So performance cards are a snapshot of how an account group is performing. They are based off of account groups, and if you have no idea of how account groups work in the system, you're not familiar with them at all, then I highly recommend that you go to our YouTube and look up some videos on account groups, how they function, how you set them up, and what they mean. So for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to do AP. I'm going to base it off of my accounts payable account group. You can change your reporting period to any of the periods that you have set up in the system. I'm going to base this off current month. I'm going to show it as an amount with currency. You can also do number or percent. And I am going to round this up to thousands. You can do whole number, millions, or no rounding. And you can report on multiple books. So you would click multiple and you could put in whichever books you want to report on. In this case, I'm just going to do single. In my comparison section, then I can compare either to a budget or to prior periods. So I'm going to select period, and in my prior period drop down here, I'm just going to do one prior period, which is comparing to my prior month. You can go all the way back here as far as 99 periods ago if you wanted to. So in my icon section, then we have arrow, bin face, flag, color, dot, thumbs up. So it's going to be, green arrow up is good, red arrow down is bad, bin face is going to be green happy face good, red happy face bad, etc., etc. So I'm going to select my thumbs. You can play around with the icons, decide whichever one you like best. Most people are not really that bothered about that. I'm going to go with thumbs. And in this case, in accounts payable, if it's down, it's good. So I'm going to say red thumbs down. I'm going to show this as a percent change, but you can do period difference. So I'm going to save that. And it's giving me my amount for my accounts payable account group, which is 82,912,000, rounded up to thousands. And it is a green thumbs up, which means that's good. And it's actually down from last month, but I'm saying, less accounts payable is a good thing. So it's down by 0.02% versus the prior month. So I know that's a very general overview of how that works. You really do have to have an idea of how groups work in the system. But I'm going to click into it again and, go through some other examples. Another one that we would see all the time is, active job count. So if you're creating dashboards for your project managers, for instance, you might have active job count by project manager for each one of them. Your cash and cash equivalents, you might have, so many different options. Another one we would see all the time is like your ratios. So current ratio is one. And you can add these account groups on the fly. So if you hit the drop down and click add, you can go in and add a new account group. And if you were going to say set up an account group for current ratio, put in all your information up here, and then your structure type is going to be computation, and you're going to say it's your current assets divided by your current liabilities. And you could save that, but you really do, don't go adding account groups on the fly if you're not at all familiar with them. Please familiarize yourself with them before you go doing that. So I'm going to say current ratio, and I'm just going to take a look at that. And like I said, it's computation structure type with current assets divided by current liabilities. Let me give that a title. And I am going to show this as a number, and I am not going to do any rounding in this case. And I'm not actually going to do a comparison either. And I'm going to save that, and it's going to show me that my current ratio is 1.87, which is fine. I know this is quick and this is a very general overview, but you really have to just have a great understanding, or at least a good understanding of account groups, and then you can start building out your performance cards. They are going to appear at the top of your dashboards. They can't be moved down. If I try to move that down, it's not going to work. So they are going to stay at the top of your dashboards, and they are affected by dashboard filters. So I know that's a very general overview, but you're going to know better than I do what performance cards you need on your dashboards, depending on which users you're creating them for. You're going to need different ones. So you can play around with them, but absolutely you're going to want to have an idea of how account groups work in the system before you start messing with those. So that is performance cards, and we're getting to the end of this series now. There also is this collaboration feed component type, which is basically just your Intacct Collaborate. If you wanted to bring that on to a dashboard so that you can see those messages easily on a dashboard, that is how you would do that. I'm not doing a separate video for that. And then we also have to cover charts. So I'm going to cover that next. And then to end it all, we're going to take a look at filters. So stay tuned for a look at charts and filters. And as always, like and subscribe.